Okay, hello everybody. Good morning, guys. So today we are starting with our fourth session on complete Java tutorial. This is coding session one, the very first coding session. So good morning, everyone. If you guys have not seen our earlier sessions, please go ahead and watch it and then come back because this coding session will be only related with all the previous three sessions. Okay, so make sure that you have seen all the previous three sessions. Okay, now if you guys are new here, then let me just introduce myself and also let you know about what's going on in this CodeBeyond channel. So we are basically CodeBeyond channel, which are who is actually providing different free content on different domains. So there are so many educators who are teaching you backend and then Python and then SQL. So I have also covered front-end programming playlists, if you can see. So there is a front-end programming playlist in the CodeBeyond channel where I've covered HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Bootstrap. Coming up again, I'll be covering jQuery and Tailwind CSS. So that will be a whole bunch of front-end programming languages which you should be knowing, right? And here we are with complete Java tutorial. This is another playlist which I've started just I think day before yesterday, and that's why we are continuing this. Now this particular session should have been done yesterday itself, but because of some technical issues I had to postpone it to today 10 a.m. Now we are here, so let's get started with coding session one. Okay, hi, good morning Arnab, good morning Somu. So let me introduce myself. So my name is Ritwik Raj. I'm a corporate trainer. I've been also working as a subject matter expert and a research analyst in most of the tech companies. I have 3+ years of teaching experience, and I've trained graduates and corporate employees from Medicine and Capgemini. I've trained more than 30K students till now. It is increasing day by day. Subjects which I take is mostly into front-end development, back-end, and database, and some interview preparation tips and tricks. And I have already taken 2 sessions on interview preparation tips and tricks. So please go ahead and take it, see what all things have been told there, because many of you have not seen that session. If you want, I can ping it in Telegram again, right? So that you guys can have a look. Where is it? Many of you have told me that you cannot find the playlist, so I will help you with that. Okay, so you can use my code, which is RIT10, to get a free level sample test paper. Now, if you do not have any idea what is level, don't worry. Soon I'm going to tell you about that. But you can use the code RIT10 to get a free level sample test paper, which will help you to analyze and understand what kind of questions will be asked in your actual level test. Okay, so this is one thing which is for all the people who are preparing for a level exam. Okay, now what is a level? The new joinees, let me just tell you what is a level. So basically Relevel is a product of Unacademy, which has come up for a because of reasons. So candidates miss out on great opportunities because of multiple reasons, right? It can be that they have done BSc or BCom and they want to move into IT industries, or they have the skills, they have the talent, they have done some projects also, but MNC companies are rejecting their resumes because they don't have a B or BTech degree. So this is one of the problem which is existing in India. And also if you are engineer, then also your resume will get rejected if you are from tier 3 college. So people from MNC are giving chance to tier 1, tier 2 because they want good candidate, but they never know that tier 3 colleges are also good and they have the same skill set, maybe more skill set than what tier 1, tier 2 is having. So these are some of the reasons why Relevel came into picture. So here this is India's first self-starting platform by Unacademy, which is helping job seekers find their dream jobs, and you can get a job based on your skill and talent, and you do not have to depend upon any of the degree or any LinkedIn network or something like that. So what are the benefits of giving this particular Relevel test or registering here? You have to give 1,000 marks Relevel test where you have to score above 700 marks. Obviously, if you want to get hired, you have to crack something. So you have to score above 700. If you do that, you will become eligible, and you will get a profile which will be shared among over 1,000 plus or 100 plus companies, including top startups and unicorns, which are providing 1,000 plus job positions across business development, backend and front end. Okay, so with Relevel, you are in a unique position to invite interest from companies instead of hunting for opportunities on your own. Now how you can register in Relevel. So basically there's a link given in the description, if you can see. So we can click on that particular link and it will take you to relevel.com, where you have to put down your mobile number and your OTP, and you will get this particular page where you have to select the test of your choice. So you have to select the test of whatever the skill do you have. If you have a backend development kind of skill, then you can select that, and then you can book a slot when you want to give the level test. Anytime, whenever you're free, book a slot for that. Slots are limited, so I suggest to book it fast. Once you do that, you have to fill in the details for the admit card. So full name, email ID, birth year, current state, and then gender. And after that, you have to put down the coupon code here. So IT10 is a coupon code. You can put down it here and click on apply. Once you click on create account, your account will be created and this will look something like this. You'll be able to find the sample paper here. Remember, if you're not using the coupon code, which is IT10, you won't be able to get this sample paper. So make sure that you're using the coupon, and once you download this, you'll be able to see and grasp what all things have been asked and how the question will be in the actual level test paper. So do not wait, just go ahead and register for level. If you have already done it, then all the best. If you have not done it, go ahead and do it. If you're not prepared for it, go ahead and check out all the sessions in CodeBeyond channel. Check out front end, check on back end, check on Python, SQL, CP, DSA, all of these things, and try to learn from that. And then once you're ready, then you can go ahead and register for level, right? Also, you can join the Telegram channel, which is the link of which is given in the description. You can click on that and join it. Why? Because I am already every day keeping an update on when session will come up. See, already schedule is there, but sometimes schedule will not happen and we have to cover up next day or next slot. So those all updates will be given in the Telegram channel. So I want you guys to join that so that you'll be able to get notified and update about all of these. You can also subscribe to the CodeBeyond channel and hit the notification bell so that you get a notification in your YouTube app as well. Also, please like and share. You can share these videos in your LinkedIn profile, tagging me, and then, many of the people will get to know about this free content. Okay, so let's get started with coding session. I'll also read the comments in between, so do let me know if you have any suggestions or anything such like that. Just one second, I'll just open it in my okay. Perfect. So let's get started with this one. Hi Arnab, hi Somu, hi Manshu, Mansi, hi, I am Biraja. Okay. Yes, we will continue the Java. This already schedule is made, so we will complete that. Don't worry. So now coming to coding session 1. Now this is the programming part. We are only going to talk about programs, nothing else. So try to fetch whatever knowledge you can gain from here. Okay. Now understand, because it's basic programs, so there will be only basic programs, not the tougher ones. This will have all the basic programs which can be asked in an basic interview. Like suppose if you're going for an Infosys or Accenture interview, TCS interview, some kind of those companies interview, the programming questions which will be asked there, that is what we are going to discuss here. Also, sometimes in fine companies, they do ask this kind of questions as well. So let's come back to our IntelliJ ID. Hi Ankita, we cannot provide the LinkedIn profile. You have to search. It's not in our norms that we should share anything. So you can go ahead and have a search. There are already some people who have been connected with me. So you can just search, you will find me. Okay, so I think in the previous session, the session number 3, we have already seen all the logic problems. If you have not seen, please go ahead and watch it, because if you have not seen that session, this session you will not understand anything, right? So if you have the knowledge of looping, if you have the knowledge of conditional statement, switch case, and a little bit knowledge of array, a little bit knowledge of data types, variables, all of those things, bit manipulation as well. If you know all of these things, this particular session will be interesting for you. Otherwise, this will become a very boring session for you. Okay, so let's directly get started with our coding. Okay, so we will be in the same programming part, will be in the same file, and what we'll be able to do is here we are going to see some of the random questions, different types of questions which can be asked in your interviews. Okay, so one by one we are going to see all of them. First of all, what we need to see is a program to print an integer. See, we have never talked about this part because we have already seen how you can print something and how you can use all the logic concepts, right? But we have never talked about how to print an integer. Like if I have to ask the user a value, how can we do that? I've never talked about that, right? So that's what we are going to do here. And in this one, please make sure that whatever I'm saying, you are following that, because here there are a lot of things which you will not understand. Now the very first thing which we have here is something called as scanner. Okay, now this you can see and tell me, because here you can see that the S is a capital, so that means it's a class, right? And scanner is a class in Java. To use this, we need to use java.util.scanner. You can see here it's telling me to use that, right? So you can see import class. Once I click on that, it is importing java.util.scanner. So why do we do this? Because this is one package. Okay, now understand. Remember I told you about package. Remember I told you about JDK. I told you about that this is the development kit inside which all packages, all libraries are inserted. So Java is a package inside which there's a util folder, that means utilities, and inside this utilities folder we have a scanner class. So if you're using a scanner class, you have to take permission from your packages. You have to go inside that folder. You have to access that. Why? Because data security. So I've told you one of the great feature of Java is data security. Here we need to, if we need to use something from Java, then we need to say it. We need to tell it that we have to use it. So we need to import those things and then only we can use it. So this is what the import packages does. See, there are some more packages which we can do, which we can use. But suppose, let's say I'm writing here java.util.star. So what is this? Now again have a look. If you write scanner, only scanner classes can be imported. If you write star, यूटिलिटीज के अंदर जितने भी क्लासेस हैं, यूटिलिटीज के अंदर जितनी भी चीजें हैं वो सारे आप एक्सेस कर सकते हो. यू कैन एक्सेस ऑल ऑफ देम. Okay, so right now I just wanted scanner, that's why I have written only that. Okay, so this is how a scanner class will be used. Now understand, whenever we create any class we need object, and I have told you this in my second session as well, that if you are creating a class, always a class will have two things, a state and a property. If the class is having a state and a property, state wherein is variables and properties is wherein methods, right? So if a class is having these two things, you can create an object of the class. That means if you have a blueprint of a car which you want to design, if you have the blueprint, if you have the design of that car, if you have the information of that car, then actually you can create that car, you can design that car, which will be called as an object. So that's what we need to do. Now if we have a scanner class already written, this scanner class is already provided by a Java. That means ये क्लास पहले से ही जावा के अंदर बना हुआ है. इसका स्टेट, इसका प्रॉपर्टी, सब कुछ पहले से ही जावा के अंदर है. तो अगर क्लास पहले से ही बना हुआ है, वी कैन नॉट सी इट बिकॉज इट इज इंटरनल, वी कैन नॉट सी दैट, बट स्टिल वी नो दैट दिस क्लास इज ऑलरेडी देयर बिकॉज ये क्लास प्री डिफाइंड है, हमें दिया गया है ये क्लास, राइट? सो इट्स ऑलरेडी गिवन टू अस. Now what is our work? Our work is to create the object. Because अगर आप सिर्फ क्लास लिख दोगे तो उसका कुछ यूज नहीं होगा ना. If you are only writing the class and keeping it there, there is no use until you are creating an object. So what you have to do, you have to create an object. So basically you can name anything here. Font increase कर दो. 1 second. 1 second guys. Is it bigger? No, right? Can you see it edit better? Do let me know. Type it in the comment if you can see it now. Because I'm increasing this font size, but still it's not happening. Okay, can you see it now? Is it fine now? Dark mode is better. 1 second. One second, guys. Okay, is everything fine now? Okay, so I hope you can see now. So what is this? Now, basically what we are doing is we are creating an object of it to use that class, right? So how to create an object, please try to understand, okay? See, object creation is everywhere the same, right? In Java, whenever you create an object, the syntax of creating an object is exactly the same everywhere, okay? So what do? You first write the class name. So we are writing first the class name, and then we are creating an object. This can be anything. You can name it anything. We are just writing it SC right now. And then you have to use this new keyword. Now you must have heard about this new keyword. If you do not know, then understand that new keyword is used whenever you want to create a new object, okay? But the meaning of new keyword is not only that. What is this new keyword doing here? If some interviewer is asking that while creating an object we write new keyword, then what is the meaning of this new keyword? ये new keyword क्या करता है? This new keyword is creating a memory location for the object in the memory. Obviously जब हम कोई वेरिएबल बनाते हैं, लेट्स से इफ आई एम टेकिंग एनी वेरिएबल, राइट, अगर मैं ऐसे कोई वेरिएबल ले रहा हूँ तो क्या होता है, जैसे ही मैं इस पर्टिकुलर वेरिएबल को बनाता हूँ, दिस पर्टिकुलर मेमोरी लोकेशन हैज़ बीन क्रिएटेड. ये मेमोरी लोकेशन क्रिएट हो जाता है, उसके अंदर 5 लिख जाता है, एंड देन आई इज द नेम ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर मेमोरी लोकेशन, राइट? सेम थिंग हैपन्स हियर एज वेल, बट this is not a variable, this is an object which is acting as a variable. So इसको memory allocate करने के लिए we use this keyword new. So whenever interviewer is asking to you that why do we need this new keyword, don't tell that whenever you create a new object that is why we write this new keyword. That is not the reason. The reason is that this new keyword is basically a predefined keyword in Java which actually allocates memory to objects, to all the objects. That is why we use this. Fine. So we have created this. Now at the end what we need to write? So we need to write the constructor. Now this is a constructor. Now what is a constructor? So हर एक class का constructor होता है, ठीक है? What is this constructor? Try to understand. Constructor is a special method. Okay. It's a special method. It's a method. Why I'm saying it's a method? Do you remember I told this main is also a method? कैन यू सी दिस ब्रैकेट्स? मैंने बोला था कि जहाँ भी ये ब्रैकेट्स आएगा मतलब वो एक मेथड है. अभी मेथड शाम को सेशन है 3 PM को. सो 3 PM वाले सेशन में पूरा अच्छे से मेथड भी बताया जाएगा, राइट? सो ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड राइट नाउ हियर in brief what is method. So method is basically whenever you have these brackets, right? जहाँ भी ये ब्रैकेट दिखेगा आपको किसी भी नाम के आगे वो मेथड है. सो ये मेन एक मेथड है. सिमिलरली अब देखो यहाँ भी एक ब्रैकेट है, राइट? तो ये भी एक मेथड है, लेकिन इस मेथड का जो नाम है वो हमारे क्लास के नाम से मैच कर रहा है, कैन यू सी? वो हमारे क्लास के नाम से एग्जैक्टली मैच कर रहा है. सो all those methods, all those special methods whose name is matching with our class, whose name is matching with our class, that's what is called as constructor. See, यहाँ पे इस मेथड का नाम हमारे क्लास से मैच नहीं कर रहा है, because there is a capital M here, there is a small m here. So this is not a constructor, but this is a constructor, okay? So now inside this constructor, I have already told you that method can have parameters. So inside this constructor, remember whenever we print something, जब भी हम लोग कुछ प्रिंट करते हैं तो हम लोग ये लिखते हैं, राइट? अभी आप यहाँ पे देखो, प्रिंट ln क्या करता है? प्रिंट करता है, आउटपुट कंसोल में प्रिंट करता है. उसको क्या बोलते हैं? आउटपुट. इसीलिए हम लोग यहाँ पे आउट लिखते हैं ना, सिस्टम डॉट आउट. कैन यू सी दैट? अरे यार, सिस्टम डॉट आउट लिखते हैं यहाँ पे, राइट? क्यों? क्योंकि सिस्टम डॉट आउट के अंदर ही प्रिंट ln है, राइट? अब ये जो स्कैनर, ये जो हम लोग इतना मेहनत कर रहे हैं, ये किस लिए कर रहे हैं? ताकि हम यूजर से इनपुट ले सके, यूजर से इनपुट ले सके, राइट? सो दैट्स वाई सिस्टम डॉट इन. ठीक है, वी राइट दिस. वाई? बिकॉज दिस इज फॉर इनपुट, टू टेक द इनपुट. तो अगर आप भूल जा रहे हो कि स्कैनर क्लास कैसे यूज करते थे, ट्राई टू ओनली रिमेंबर दीज स्टेप्स. फर्स्ट आपको ध्यान में रखना है कि स्कैनर एक प्री डिफाइंड क्लास है जो जावा ने प्रोवाइड किया हुआ है, तो इसको बनाने का कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है, इस क्लास को फिर से बनाने का कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. अब हमको क्या करना है? सिर्फ ऑब्जेक्ट बनाना है. तो हमने ऑब्जेक्ट बनाया. हमने कैसे ऑब्जेक्ट बनाया? ऑब्जेक्ट का नाम लिखा, न्यू कीवर्ड लिखा, एंड देन वी यूज दिस पर्टिकुलर कंस्ट्रक्टर. कंस्ट्रक्टर जब हम लोग यूज़ कर रहे थे तो उसमें हमें सिस्टम डॉट इन देना है. क्यों? क्योंकि हम लोग एक इनपुट रीड करना चाहते हैं यूज़र से. यहाँ पे हम लोग प्रिंट करना चाहते थे, यहाँ पे हम लोग इनपुट लेना चाहते हैं. दैट्स वाई वी आर डूइंग दिस. नाउ व्हाट वी हैव टू डू? सो अभी हमको क्या करना पड़ेगा? हमको यूज़र से पूछना पड़ेगा, मतलब कि यूज़र को समझ में आना चाहिए ना कि कब हमें इनपुट देना है. सो व्हाट आई विल डू इज इंटर फर्स्ट नंबर. लेट्स से मैंने ऐसा कुछ लिख दिया यहाँ पे. तो दिस इज बेसिकली आस्किंग द यूज़र टू एंटर द फर्स्ट नंबर. अभी तक क्या हुआ? पहला चीज़ ये हुआ कि हमने एक ऑब्जेक्ट बना लिया है स्कैनर का. दूसरा चीज़ ये हुआ कि हमने प्रिंट किया है, बट अभी भी एक मेन कोड लिखे ही नहीं है. द मेन कोड इज टू एक्चुअली आस्क द यूज़र टू इनपुट समथिंग, राइट? So for that what you have to do, we have to use the object of scanner. मान लो कि आउटपुट कंसोल में पूछा जा रहा है एंटर योर फर्स्ट नंबर और एंटर दी फर्स्ट नंबर. तो एज अ यूज़र मैं वहाँ पे कोई नंबर डालूंगा, 5 डाल दूंगा, राइट? तो वो 5 कहीं स्टोर होना चाहिए ना. वो 5 जो मैं डालूंगा वो कहीं तो स्टोर होना चाहिए. स्टोर नहीं होगा तो काम कैसे होगा? आई एम टेकिंग ए वेरिएबल टू स्टोर इट. आई एम टेकिंग ए वेरिएबल टू स्टोर इट. Now I'm taking the object name, and I'm taking a use of special method. So you can see here, these are the methods which are there in Java, which you can use to fetch the value from the user. Okay, so आप देखो यहाँ पे बहुत सारे methods हैं. Try to understand what are these. So basically अगर आप next int लिखते हो तो next int will take integer value from the user. नेक्स्ट बाइट लिखते हो तो इट विल टेक बाइट वैल्यू फ्रॉम द यूज़र. अगर आप लिखते हो नेक्स्ट शॉर्ट, इट विल टेक शॉर्ट वैल्यू फ्रॉम द यूज़र. तो यहाँ पे हम लोग ट्राई करते हैं अभी नेक्स्ट इंट को. ठीक है, विल ट्राई नेक्स्ट इंट. सो लेट्स ओनली डू दिस. इसका कोई काम नहीं है. दिस आई जस्ट वांटेड टू शो यू, दैट्स व्हाई आई हैव रिटन. इतने को रन करते हैं. ओके, लेट्स ट्राई टू रन दिस. So you can see here, enter first number, right? It is saying enter first number. इसका भी font बढ़ा देंगे, but you can see here it is asking enter first number, and you can see that you can click on this. That means ये मुझे पूछ रहा है, एक नंबर पूछ रहा है. So I can write 5. You can see I have entered 5. Hit enter. It's over. You can see process finished, क्योंकि मैंने अभी तक उतना ही कोड लिखा था. So this 5 is now inside A. If you want to see that, what you can do, just print A. अगर आप प्रिंट कर दोगे ए को तो ए का वैल्यू वहाँ पे आ जाएगा. लेट्स स्टार्ट रनिंग दिस. यहाँ पे मैं 10 लिख देता हूँ एंड देन इट प्रिंट्स 10. कैन यू सी दैट? So green color is the value which I have given the input from the user, and the printing value, the white value is the printing value. ठीक है? So I hope this is covered. I hope you have understood this. Now see, अभी तक हमने सिर्फ 4 सेशन किया है, एंड इन 4 सेशन में ही बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें निकल के आ रही है जो हमें नहीं पता है. इफ़ यू टॉक अबाउट मेथड हमें सही से नहीं पता है कैसे काम करता. वी डो नॉट नो अबाउट कंस्ट्रक्टर, ये होता क्या है, अभी अभी जस्ट पता चला. न्यू कीवर्ड पता चला, इसके बारे में और डिटेल पढ़ेंगे. देन ये ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट होता है बट इसको यूज कैसे कर रहे हैं नहीं पता, राइट? सो देर आर सम थिंग्स विच इज स्टिल नॉट वेरी मच क्लियर टू अस, बट वी डू नो दैट कि एक क्लास होता है, क्लास के अंदर दो चीज़ें होती हैं, स्टेट और प्रॉपर्टी, एंड देन वी हैव आवर मेन मेथड विच इज नथिंग बट योर heart of the program. So we need to write this in the same sequence, and then scanner class which is already there in Java, and we have to just create an object to use it, right? Scanner class is every time use it for making user to print something in the terminal. Okay, so this is what is my scanner. Any doubts still here? If you don't have any doubts still here, okay, perfect. So now let's move into the programming. So abhi let's go to program. So enter a number, dot next int. So this was one of the thing how to print an integer. Let me just find out if we can see one of the example for this. Okay, so one more thing. Now let's say this is enter first number, right? Now say if I have enter first string, okay, or enter a string. So in here we cannot use next int. Also we cannot use next string. We cannot use next string. So what we have to use? We have to use next line. Okay, we have to use next line to do this. So please do remember this. So whenever you use next line, what's gonna happen? It's gonna take string in your input. Fine. So what you have to do here, enter first string. Let's run this. In the output you can say, it says enter first string. You can write whatever you want, and then it says the same thing. So बाकी सारे data types, whatever data types you have, you can write the same thing, next int, next long, next short, next byte, but for a string you have to use next line. So do remember this whenever you are writing a program. Okay, अभी ये सब को हटाते हैं. बफर रीडर एंड ऑल वी विल टॉक अबाउट लेटर. जब स्ट्रिंग बफर, जब स्ट्रिंग सब आएगा तब होगा. स्ट्रिंग बिल्डर, स्ट्रिंग बफर, that time we'll try to speak about that. Explain other methods of taking input as well. Okay, we'll try to do that as well. Right now I have one particular very important question which is called as pattern questions, right? Okay, directly I'm moving into pattern questions. We'll come back. Right now pattern questions, because बहुत लोगों ने request किया था कि इसको समझ में नहीं आता है, because this is a very complex program which happens here, and we do want to know ki how these pattern problems are solved, right? So if you do not know how these, or you do not know how to decode any particular logic, try to understand how to decode that. ठीक है? So बहुत अच्छे समझना है इसको, because here I need you to understand it in a very detailed manner. एक भी program pattern question का समझ में आ गया, you can create any other pattern. ठीक है? So let's have a look. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take one particular variable here. I'm going to give here 5, and we are just going to start our for loop. So have a look what I'm doing. Int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Okay, this is one of the for loop which I have already told you how does it look like, right? Spring भी होगा क्या? स्प्रिंग विल हैपन लेटर ऑन, नॉट नाउ. पहले हम लोग सिर्फ एडवांस जावा तक कंप्लीट कर रहे हैं. लेटर ऑन स्प्रिंग बूट will be in another playlist, not in this one. So yeah, now here, so in this particular for loop, what we have to do, we'll print this I. ठीक है, only this much. Let's see what happens. So if I do this, what's gonna happen? 0 to 4, right? Basically यहाँ से तो वही पता चल रहा है, right? You can see I equal to 0 and then I is less than 1. Now have a look what is happening. So what's happening here? Why is it printing I here? Why is it printing I here? Basically I have printed this double quote, that's why. If I print I, you can see here 0 to 4, right? That's what is getting printed. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a kind of for loop which is called as nested for loop. Okay, so nested for loop is basically, remember nested if else? So basically inside if you have another if, the same thing I'm going to do, but this time I'm going to put down for loop के अंदर for loop, right? Now that will become complex because ये वाला for loop ही समझने में थोड़ा time लग जाता है, right? So make sure that you know this for loop, how it works, the single one. If you know this, then only we will move ahead to the nested one. So अभी हमको ये समझ में आ चुका है because we know I equal to 0, first step, second step is 0 is less than 5, and then it comes here, prints that, then goes back, increment it, then comes back to the condition. If the condition is correct, it again comes down, prints it, and this cycle goes on till the condition is false. So we know this particular concept. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to take down one more for loop. Okay, so let's say इसके अंदर मैंने एक और for loop बनाया है. Okay, ठीक है. So what's gonna happen here then? Let's run this. Directly run करते हैं, देखते हैं यहाँ पे हो क्या रहा है. So you can see here basically क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे, right? You can see here 0 0, then 1 2 3 4, then again 1 0. Some random thing is coming, right? But try to decode this. मैंने कुछ भी लिखा है. Let's try to decode this. यहाँ पे होगा क्या basically? So if you can see here, I equal to 0, 0 is less than 5. It's gonna come here, it's gonna print that, right? But it's not gonna stop there. ये वहाँ पे stop नहीं होगा. What's gonna happen? It's gonna go down to the next for loop. J equal to 0, 0 is less than 5. Then it's gonna print 0 again, and then it will increment this J value, right? So दो बार 0 print हुआ और उसके बाद ये J वाला जो value था वो complete होगा. ये अभी run होगा. Because right now it has got stuck in this for loop. So this loop needs to get completed and then only it can go above. ठीक है, तो सबसे पहले ये अब अगर यहाँ पे फंस गया है तो it has to get over. So see 0 1 2 3 4, ये जो 0 1 2 3 4 है, this is of J. Okay, this is of J. ये J वाला loop complete हो रहा था. Remember I have already told you that if you are getting stuck in one loop, it will get run again and again if the condition is not false. Till the time the condition is not false, it's gonna run. So ये चलते रहेगा 1 2 3 4. Once it is becoming 4, अब क्या होगा? I increment होगा. Because अब ये वाला code complete हो जाएगा. So I increment होगा, and then when I will get incremented, I is what? 1. 1 is less than n. So 1 will get printed. So you can see here 1 is getting printed. Right? This one is of I, and then again it comes down. Again J equal to 0, 0 is less than n, so again it prints from 0 to 4. Can you see that? Again 2 and then 0 to 4. Again 3 and then 0 to 4. Again 4 and then 0 to 4. Again if we'll write 5, then 5 will also come. But this is how it looks like. So let's do some changes in the code. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this, and a next for loop is written here. Let's try to see what is happening now, right? Let's try to see what is happening now. So what I've done, I've closed this, right? I've closed this पहला for loop. Let's try to solve this. क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे? There's a, okay, I think there's one curly bracket which is more. Let's remove one of them. Is it fine now? Let's run this. Okay, so what is happening? What is happening? We are getting 0 1 2 3 4 0 1 2 3 4. Very simple. First ये वाला loop complete हुआ. जैसे ये वाला पूरा loop complete हुआ, then only it came back to this one. Right? So there is no problem in that. Now, what we are going to do? We are going to change this code again. See, मैंने बार I am doing some changes in the code, right? Because I want you to see every step how we are going to reach to the level where we are basically trying to get the output of pattern program. So right now we are in this stage. We have got 0 1 2 3 4 0 1 2 3 4, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to change some things here. Okay, so here I'm going to add one line where I'm just going to say println. That's it. I'm just going to say this much, println. So what's going to happen? First, this is going to get printed. Let's run this. Can you see this? What is happening? At the end, we are getting one line here, right? At the end, we are getting a line here. We're getting a space here, right? So let's have a look. Now understand, I equal to 0. 0 is less than 5. It comes down here. It prints 0, right? So यहाँ पे basically क्या print होगा? 0 print होगा, right? Let's do something. यहाँ पे हम लोग एक स्पेस दे देते हैं. So instead of 0, what we are doing, we are giving space here. Okay, we are providing here space. Fine. So in next line, what I'm doing, j equal to 0. Now we won't write j less than n. What we are going to write here is j less than I. Now understand what's happening here. So j less than equal to I. I is, yeah. So j less than I. So what is happening here? So basically you can see I equal to 0. 0 is less than 5. And then it prints the space. After that, it will come back and then j equal to 0. Same thing will happen, right? So every time this is gonna get printed. So you can see here what is happening. All these spaces we have got 5 spaces and then the j value from 0 to 5. Why 0 to 5? You can see here. I have written here I. So first यहाँ पे I का value आएगा 0 and then till the end it's gonna print that, right? So that is what is happening here. So now what we are going to do is we are going to print up am I stuck? 1 second. J equal to 0. Okay, fine. System not println j. We'll put here. Now we'll put here star. We'll try to print this star. 1 second, guys. Something is wrong here. One second, guys. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we have written ln, we have written ln everywhere. That's why it is giving us this kind of particular output. So let's go back where we were in the starting. Yeah, so we did till here, right? We did till here. So let's try to see what is happening. So basically we have written everywhere ln, you can see. So every time it is going into the new line. One second, let me just bring it back. So let me remove this. We are writing here j, right? We are writing here j. So this was the output which was coming here. You can see here we are getting some spaces here because of I, and then we are getting here the numbers. Okay, fine. So again, let's understand. So right now you can see that we are getting every number or every whatever number or whatever things we want, it is coming in the next line, right? So we don't want that. We want that it should come in the same line. So what we are going to do here is we are going to just remove this ln from here. Okay, so now what will happen, all these spaces will be in not in separate lines, only in one line. So if I run this, what's going to happen? You can see what is happening. So all these 5 spaces are coming here and then 0 came in. Can you see that? So all these spaces came here and then the 0 came in, right? So because we have used here print. So that is one of the reason why all these spaces coming in the same line. Now understand what do we want. What we want here is we want that this particular pattern, whatever we are trying to achieve here, right? We want that these all should be creating a right triangle star pattern. Okay, what kind of pattern? We want 1 star here and then 2 star like this, then 3 star like this, and then 4 star like this. This much. Okay, now try to understand how we can achieve this. First of all, there are 5 rows and 5 columns. Can you see that? So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 rows and 5 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So there are 5 rows and 5 columns. That is why I've taken the year n equal to 5. And this loop is basically for the rows. For the rows. So rows means 1 row, 2nd row, 3rd row, 4th row, and 5th row. Right? So that is how we want it to get printed. Right? That is how we want it to get printed. Now, first of all, what do you want? We want the star to get printed, right? So we do not want this star to get printed right away. We do not want this star, this space to get printed. We want the star to get printed. First of all, we'll remove this j and we'll put up a star because we want the star to get printed, right? So we don't want any numbers. We want the star. Now have a look at this pattern. Just have a look at this pattern first. First, we only want 1 star. Then we want some spaces. Can you see these spaces? Right? There are some spaces because if there is 5 rows, there's 5 columns. So it's not like that these are empty. This section is not empty. These are filled, but filled with spaces. Okay. So we have only 1 star and 4 spaces. Then we have 2 stars, 3 spaces. We have 3 star, 2 spaces. 4 star, 1 spaces, and then directly 5 star. This is how you need to decode this. Now we know what do we want. So we want first only the star, and then we want 2 star, then we want 3 star, then we want 4 star, then we want 5 star. So how will you write this logic? Now try to see this particular code and try to understand. Try to let me know how will you write this. You have this space in one loop. You have this space in one loop. You have the star. Now tell me how you are going to achieve this. So you want 1 star and then 4 spaces. So you want that this loop should run once and this loop should run 4 times. How you're going to do that? How you're going to do that? Try to think of any particular way how you're going to achieve this. The very first thing what we need to understand is that these two for loops are individual. We do not want it to be individual. Why do we do not want to be individual? Because we want both the loops should run simultaneously. So what do you want is we want these two lines to be nested. We want our for loops to be nested. That is what we are doing here. So what are we making here? What we are doing here, we are making our two for loops nested. Okay. Now, if you look here, what's going to happen? I equal to 0, 0 is less than 5, and then it comes here. It is not printing anything. It is not printing anything. It just comes here. J equal to 0. 0 is less than equal to 0. Yes, it is. So it prints the star. Easy. So it prints the star. So we got this first star. We got this first star. Now what do you want? We want the spaces, right? So what we are going to do here is we are going to add the spaces here. Okay, we are going to add these spaces somewhere here, right? So let's bring it ln itself. Let's bring the ln itself. So similarly, like something like this. So first of all, first star has come. Now what's going to happen? This j loop will start, right? This j loop will start. So j will become 1. 1 is less than equal to 0. No, it is not. So what's going to happen? It's not going to do anything. So what's going to do? It's gonna print ln, and then it's going to move to the I++, right? So let's first run this. And then again we will see it. Okay, so there's one curly bracket which is extra. Again, 1 second. Whoa, this is closing here, this is closing here, this is closing here, and one more. Okay, so can you see I'm getting a right triangle? But how did you do that? How did we do that? Let's try to understand. See, I equal to 0. 0 is less than 5. So it is true, so it will come inside. J equal to 0. 0 is less than equal to 0. So it's fine. We are printing this star. We are printing this star. And then this is going to increase the J value, not I, because we are right now in this for loop. So this for loop, we have stuck now. So we need to complete this. So to complete this, J will become 1. But 1 is less than equal to 0. No, it's not. So it's going to come out of that and it's gonna go to the next line. Now you can see here this loop is still running. I is still running. So I will increase to 1. Once I is increased to 1, 1 is less than 5. So it's going to come down. J equal to 0. 0 is less than equal to 1. 0 is less than equal to 1 is true. So it's gonna again print the star. So this second star we got. J will increment to 1. 1 is less than equal to 1. That is also correct. So it's gonna again print that second star. J will become 2. But 2 is less than equal to 1. No, it is not. So it's gonna go to the next line. Again, I will become 3. And this will go on. So here are two things which we need to understand. First thing, why did I explain you first in the beginning about the individual for loop? And then I told you what is a nested loop. So thing is, whenever you code in your individual loops, right? Those two loops are individual to each other. Those two loops are not attached to each other. Okay. But in nested loop, what is happening? These two loops are talking to each other. These two loops are working with each other. Okay. Now, whenever I wrote two individual loops, so spaces were in one corner and numbers were in one corner. Did you see that? Spaces were above and numbers were down. But we did not want that. We want that spaces and numbers should combine. Right? We do not want that ऊपर spaces आ गया और नीचे number आ गया. मेरे को वो नहीं चाहिए था. वो किस लिए हो रहा था? Because two for loops were individual. Now we want that the spaces and numbers should join and create something amazing. That's why we have joined these two for loops. अब ये दोनों for loop जब जुड़ गया है, when it is talking to each other, then we are getting this kind of output where we have the spaces also and the stars also. Again, understand. इस particular logic को लिखने का बहुत तरीका है, ठीक है? To write this logic, to create this pattern, we have a lot of logic which you can write, okay? And you can see it in any particular website. Different logics will be there, but remember that this is the most easiest one because it is having less number of line and it is having very normal code which you can explain to anybody. Okay, just imagine we can create this right triangle using two individual for loops. In many of the websites, you can see that we can create two individual for loops, and we can again create this same right triangle, right? But that will be more complex to understand. So do not try to go in that particular way. Try to understand in a much more easy way. Okay. Now this is the most simple programming logic for pattern program. अगर आपको ये आ गया है, you can now create any particular pattern program using only these 4 to 5 lines. Okay, only using these 4 to 5 lines. Let's try to create this. So let's say यहाँ पे मैंने right किया हुआ था, right? This is the right triangle. So if suppose I want a left triangle, so what you have to do? I want now that it should be starting from the left triangle, not from the right. So what we need to do? Okay, सबसे पहले उसको छोड़ते हैं. Left triangle में थोड़ा time लगेगा. Let's try to find an easy one. Okay, so एक काम करते, we'll try to create one extra session for patterns, जिसमें सारे patterns solve करके दिखाऊंगा, because सबका logic different है. The same thing is there, the same nested for loops is there, but these are having different logics, right? So right now if I'll take it again, it will take more 2 hours. So we'll try to do this in another session. I'll create one more session for only pyramid patterns, or maybe only for patterns, where there are 3 kinds of patterns: number patterns, then star patterns, and character patterns. So we'll try to see all those patterns in our that one session. So right now I think you have got a basic idea to how to create this particular star, right? So now let's move to our normal programming questions. Okay, you must be knowing about, so let's see what other programs we can take. Okay, let's try to do this. So this is basically to find an ASCII value of a character. You guys must be knowing that we have known about ASCII characters, ASCII, right? And we know that there's a table which gives us the value of each of the, characters a value, right? Yes, maybe coding session 2 we can do pattern problems, but we'll not name it as coding session. We'll name it as pattern problems, because all those people who wants to learn only pattern problems will be coming up there. So we'll try to do that there, not here, because I just wanted to show you this concept, because many times what happens, people do want to explain how it happens, but they do get confused, right? Same thing happens to me many times, but explanation has to be very accurate. When you explain it something like dividing it into sections, like I showed you, when you write for loops individually, what happens? When you write it nestedly, well, then what happens? So if you try to explain something like that, then maybe impact will happen. I'll try to do this again. We'll try to again explain it in our next sessions, and we'll try to see how it goes. Right now again, I am not feeling very confident, because I can explain it in a much more better way. So we'll try to see again same thing in our next sessions, but right now let's try to see some of the questions. So find ASCII value of an character, how you can do that. So basically let's take a value here, char cha. Okay, this is just one particular value which I'm taking, and we are going to give it to a, okay, we can give it to a integer. So you can see here what we are doing. This is casting, which is implicit casting, right? You can see here what we have done. Now what we are going to do is we are going to write here one more explicit casting will do. So let's say I'm going to write here cast, and I'm going to just name here int, and we are going to give it here. So you can see here what we are doing. First of all, the character value is ch equal to a. I'm just going to remove this. You should not get confused. So what am I doing here? I am basically writing a character value a, and then I'm giving this character value to a integer whose variable name is ASCII. And then what I'm doing, I am also giving this character value to a variable which is cast, which is also an integer. But here I'm doing explicit casting. Now what you are going to do is we are going to see the output of this. So if I just do ASCII and if I do cast, see, these are some of the very basic programs which will help you to understand how you can fetch things if in interview it is asked. So if I run this, let's see what is happening. So you can see here we are getting 97, 97, right? What is 97 here? So we have given a value a here. We have never given 97, but still in this one also we are getting 97. In this one also we are getting 97. Why? Because it is giving us the ASCII value of a. Why? Because I've given here int. Okay, so if anybody wants to understand what is this ASCII value, go back in the previous sessions. You can see I've shown an ASCII table where each of the letters is having a ASCII value, and that's how you can do this, right? So this is one of the program. Quotient and reminder, I think I've already explained you. Adding two integers is very easy. I'm not going to show that. Multiplying two floating point numbers is basically to, if you have one value 1.5f, if you have second value 3.5f, you want to multiply that, you can easily do that. You will get an answer. So let's do that once, because there is some concept which is missing there. So let's say I have a float s equal to 1.02f and float d equal to 4.23f. These both are float, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just multiply these two. So let's say s multiply d, right? Now both are float, right? So let's try to see what happens if I do this. You can see here we are getting 4.3146. So both the numbers are getting multiplied. But let's say what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write here int result. Okay, and in this one I'm just going to do this. Can you see what is happening? So s into d, right? But you can see what's happening here. It is saying cast to int, right? So we need to do something like this. Why? Because float is a bigger byte data type and int is the smaller one. So we need to do the explicit casting. This is where we need to understand implicit and explicit casting, right? This is where we need to use this. So you can see now what is happening. So now what is happening? Basically s into d is getting multiplied. So we are getting 4.3146 still here, but that 4.3146 is now getting converted into integer and it is getting saved into result. So let's see what happens if I print the result. Is your name really Ritwik Raj? Okay, so let's run this. So you can see what you're getting 4, right? So this is how this implicit casting is done. This is what is multiplying floating numbers or multiplying. You can also multiply double. One second, let me also explain you about one more thing which is very important. Yes, this one. So I don't know if you guys have learnt about swapping two numbers, and this is one of the important question which can be asked in interviews. So let's try to do this swapping two numbers, and then it's already 1 hour. So now we are going to move into our main topics like Armstrong number, or prime number, those all topics, Fibonacci series, factorial, or those things. So let's try to see it one by one. So first of all, the swapping number is basically to swap the numbers from one another. And if you guys know the logic of that, that's really great. But how to write the logic of a swapping number? So you have to first have some numbers in your code. So let's say I'm having a simple number A10 and B20. This is all beginner stuff. You should be knowing if you are in a second semester or second year of engineering. You should be knowing these all programs. These are very basic stuff from programming. So please do know about all these things. So I'm just going to write here. Before swapping, so you can see here what I'm doing, right? This pattern is also, I have never shown you this. So you can see here how I'm writing this. Before swapping is basically the text which will get printed, and after that the value of A will come, and then after that there will be a space, and then after that B value will come. So this is something which I have not shown you till now. Right now only I am showing you. So here what we are going to do is we are going to write a code for swapping two numbers. Okay. So what we are going to do here? So what we are going to do here is we are going to take one variable. Let's say I'll use this here only, int C. Okay, this C will not give any value. This is the temporary variable which we have just given. So what I'm going to do here is a normal assignment will do C equal to A. That means A value will now go to C. So C is now having 10, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'll give the B value to A because A was empty. So I've given that value, the B value, to A. So now A is 20, right? Now B value is empty. So B we'll give to C. Now this is very simple swapping technique, but there are multiple ways to do this. This is called as swapping two variables using temporary variable. So you're using a temporary variable and then you're writing the program. So this is very easy, right? But there are sometimes when the interviewer do ask that if you have to write swapping two variables without using temporary variable. So you cannot use temporary variables. You have to swap it without using temporary variables. Then how you'll do it? So this one is an assignment for you. I'll just give you an idea how you can do that. You can add arithmetic operators. You can use arithmetic operators, plus, minus, or multiplication, division, to write a program of swapping without using temporary variables. So try to do that. Okay, try to do that. That's very easy. You just have to add two numbers and subtract two numbers. It's really fun. Please try to do this, because if you don't write a logic on your own, do not try to search it in Google. If you don't try to write a logic of your own, you won't be able to go to that level when you are solving DSA problems, right? So try to find a logic how you're going to do this. So here I'm just going to write after swapping and just going to print that. That's nice if your name is Ritwik Raj and you also want to learn Java. So after swapping, let's run this. So this is before swapping 1020 and then after swapping 2010. Okay, you have to write a logic where you're not using a temporary variable, you are just using a normal operator, arithmetic operator, or mostly arithmetic operator will only do this kind of thing. So try to do that. Next program is very simple. We will try to see how we can write a if-else condition. So I have also explained you this in my previous session, where I have told you how to know that whether a number is even or odd. So here what I'm going to do is quickly I'm just going to create one scanner. Now I can speedily write, because you know all these things, so I will not waste time. I have a lot of programs in my list which I need to complete, so let's not waste time. System.out.println, here I'm just going to mention enter a number. Okay, so user will enter a number, but still I have not completed this, so now user can enter a number. Okay, now user can enter a number. Now we have to find out whether that number is even or odd. So what you have to do, we have to use the reminder operation, because we need to know whether that value will come as 0 or not. Because if a number is 16, 16 divided by 2 will give you the reminder 0. So you will get to know that it is basically a even number. So here I can write even, and similarly we can write else, and we can write here odd. So I hope now you will be understanding each and every lines, because now you know what are these. And also here what you can do is you can remove these brackets, because in all of these we have only single statement, so we can remove that as well. Now let's run this. If you run this, you can see here it is asking for a number to me. So if I write 26, you can see it's giving me even. So these are very basic problems. You need to understand how these are happening. So we have covered printing an integer, adding two integers, multiplying two numbers, ASCII value of a character. Computing quotient and remainder is very easy. You can use divide and modulus sign to get the remainder and quotient of two numbers. Swapping to number is also done. Number is even or odd, that is also done. Now what we are going to do is we are going to write a code in which we are going to understand whether a alphabet is vowel or consonant. These are very basic programs. All these programs you must have done in second year engineering. If you do not know about these, then just go ahead. So now next one is your character. So we are going to take a character from here. So enter a character from the user. The user will put down the character, and here I'm just going to change this to char. Also I'm going to change this to char. One second, we have to use next line only. Okay, let's migrate to string. Fine. So here we need to write one logic where we can say that whether that particular string or that particular character is a vowel or consonant. Right now I'll just do this, and we'll take a normal code right now. So let's say I'm taking char a equal to b, which is not a vowel. We know that it is not a vowel. What is wrong here? Single quote. So character, single quote, string, double quote. Now what we need to write? We need to write a particular logic. So what do we know? What do we know about vowel or consonant? We know that all the vowels are 5 vowels, A, E, I, O, U, right? So we know that. So what we have to do here, we have to write a comparison of that. We know all the operators, so we can use all the operators. So I'm using this part. I'm using A equal to A equal to, if it is E, right? And then we can use A equal to I, and then we can use O, and then we can use U. So this is what we have used, and now you can see why we have used this OR thing here, right? Again, understand, yesterday we have seen about this, we have understood about this is a logical operators. Logical operator means in OR, if all the values are in AND, we have understood if all the values are true, then this particular condition will be true. But in OR, if any one of the value is also true, if any one of the value is true, then your condition will be true. So if any one of the condition, either it is A, E, I, O or U, your output will be what? Your output will be that it is a vowel. So what we can write here is, we can write A plus, we can say that is a vowel. Similarly, we can have our else statement. So we do not use this curly brackets. We do not need to use that. We will remove it. But here what we can write is, we can write A plus is a consonant. Okay, we can remove the curly brackets, that is not of any use. Let's try to see. So you can see B is a consonant. If I change this and if I write here I, so it's gonna give me I is a vowel. Also, what if I'm writing a capital I? So you can see what's happening. You can see it says I is a consonant, right? So this is not wrong, right? This logic is not correct now. So we got to know that we have written something wrong in our logic. So see, that's why people say that when you're writing a particular program, when you're writing a particular logic, that logic should work in all the active cases. So you need to check your program for all the cases. And you can see that in this case, this is not working. So do tell me in the live chat that what you need to change here to make sure that this code will become perfect. Okay. So basically the reason being is, we have not given here capital letters. We have only given small letters, but this is not a good code if your question is write a program to check whether a number is vowel or consonant, right? So make sure that you're not doing any kind of these mistakes, because all the codes should be very, very proper and perfect. Okay, so now these are all the basic programming which we have seen. Let's do one more. So we are still in our if else part. We are just doing and understanding our if else codings. Not much. Whatever topics still we have covered, only those coding sessions we are taking right now. So let's comment this. And suppose if you want to find, if the question is you have to find the largest among three numbers. So again, similarly, what you have to do, you have to write a code in which you will write a particular statement using if and else to fetch all the numbers. So let's say I'm getting here num1 and I'm just giving a value here. Let's say I'm giving here it as 2. Next, I'm going to give a second number. Let's say I'm giving here 5. And let's say I'm giving here a third number. Let's say I'm giving here it as 3. Okay. And now we need to write a logic for this. So for this, what you have to do, if you can see here num1, if num1 is greater than num2, if num1 is greater than num2, or that means and num1 is greater than num3, then what should happen? Your num1 is the greatest. So I can just write here num1 is greatest, okay, or num1 is the largest. That's what it will print. Next, we can use here else if. Why else if? Why not only else? Because there are 3 numbers, so we need to write one more condition here, right? That's why num2 is greater than or equal greater than num1 and num2. Why we are using and? Because we know that one number should be greater than the other numbers. If that is there, then only the condition is true. So if these both conditions are true, then only this statement is true. This condition is true. Then only the statement will get printed. So here we need to write num3. Once you do this, again same thing, s out, and you can print num2 is greatest. Right? Now we need to write the else part. So here we can directly write s out. We can write here num3 is greatest. Okay, let's try to write. Thank you for that. Now everything is correct. Let's try to see this. Let's try to run it. So if I run it, you are getting num2 is greatest, right? You are getting that. But suppose if I am putting up here it as 6, right? And if I run this, it should say num1 is greatest. It is saying num1 is greatest. What if I'm changing this to 6? What if num1 and num3 both are equal? So this is one of the case in which this program should also work. This program should also work. So if I do this, you can see what is happening. Num3 is greatest. Why is it not saying num1 is greatest? Why is it not saying num1 is greatest? Why is it coming to num3? Because in the conditions we have never used the equal to thing, right? So we need to always use here an equal to. Why? Because if num1 is greater than equal to num2, num1 is greater than equal to num2. So this is true. Num1 is greater than or equal to num3. Num1 is greater than or equal to num3. Now this statement is correct. So this is gonna get printed. Num1 is greatest. Earlier what was happening? It was saying num3 is greatest because this equal to was not there. So it was not true, right? So now if I do this, you can see that it will say num1 is greatest. So these are the things which is very, 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 very important. These small things, because once you're writing a logic, if you're thinking in your interview that largest of 3 number, I can do it very easily. These are the things which they will notice here. This equal to was very important. And these are the things which actually interview will ask you. Not that they are not looking for for just the output. No, they are looking for a quality code. Okay, so in DSA also we say that most of the FANG companies are looking for a quality code, right? So these are some things which does matter. Okay, so understand these things whenever you are writing it. Let's try to see some more questions. Type conversion ka coding we have seen, like how to convert your character into tint. So we have already done that. We'll not do it again. Let's move into our looping and all. Let's do some codings in our looping part. So, right, this will be a good one. Let's try to do this. Okay, so I'm not going to write the code because I don't have much time. I'm going to just use this particular part. Okay, have a look. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all these things because already we have seen all of this. So now we are writing a program for leap year. Okay, so let's try to have a look what is happening here. I'm just going to remove this as well. You can see here there's a long program which is written here. Let's try to understand what is happening. So if you look here, this is a leap year program, and in leap year we know the fact that every 4 years basically there's one leap year which comes in, and it is having the February month as 29. The same thing you can see here, we have written a logic on it. Now this logic is very, very important to understand because this is using a a very important logic of conditional statements. So let's try to see how does this happen. For how long will this course run on YouTube? So this course will run on YouTube till 3rd Feb. That is the plan. You can see the trailer if you have not watched it. Just go ahead and watch the trailer video. You can see whole schedule is given there. So you'll be able to see the plan. So have a look here what we are doing. So we have year equal to 1996. That is one of the year which we have taken. And then there is a leap variable in which we have said false. So this is just one leap variable which we have taken, and in which we are saying that leap variable is false. When we will write one code, we will write one logic and we'll make this true. When this leap variable will become true, that year is basically a leap year. Okay, right now in the beginning it is false. So let's try to see the logic what we have written. Have a look at this. This is the logic which we have written, and this is basically your nested if you can see, right? So we from the starting whatever we have seen, whatever programs we have seen all the coding, all the important concepts are being covered. First we have understood about for loop, nested for loop from this session itself. Then we started coming on if else. We have covered our if else ladder, and then here we are covering our nested if else. So one program for each of them. Let's try to understand what is happening. So you can see here we have written if year percentage 4 equal to 0, then it has to check year percentage 100 equal to 0, and then year percentage 400 equal to 0. So why are we doing this? Why are we doing this 3 times? Why are we checking it for 4, checking it for 100, and then checking it for 400? Now understand, we know that every 4 year the leap year comes in, right? So this is one of the reason why we are doing this. So 1996 modulus 4, and it's gonna have to have 0, then only we are being able to understand that year is divided by a 4. That means year is a multiple of 4. Okay, it's an even. Now what we are doing, we are checking in the century part. So we are checking in 100 years. So we have to divide by 100. Next, what we are doing, we are dividing it by 400. Why? Because every century will be different, right? So every 4 years, that means every 400 years also. So we are also dividing with 400. Most of the time, this is what people don't do. People just do this and this. So people don't do this part. And this, if you're not writing, then also your program will run. But for most of the years, it will give you a wrong output. Okay, so if you're going back, like if you're going back to 1700 or maybe later stage like 2500, then your logic will give you the wrong output. So this is the most important code here. So you need to divide 3 times, 4 and 100 and 400. Now once you do this, you will get the output. So here, if you look here, if year is modulus 4 equal to 0, suppose this is wrong, then you have an else statement which is given here. Can you see that? You have an else statement which is given here, leap equal to false, right? That means if year modulus 4 is equal to 0, if year 1996 modulus 4 equal to 0, then leap will be true, otherwise it will be false. But have a look here, when I'm doing for if year modulus 100 equal to 0, here if it is true, it will come inside, else also you can see leap equal to true, right? And then for the last one, we have true and false. So if the year is not century, that's also fine, because let's say one of the year is a century, but it's not a leap year. It can happen. But if one of the century year is there, it is also a leap year. It can also happen, right? Some of the centuries are not a leap year. Some of the centuries are leap year. So that is why this particular command, this particular thing is written. This is not false. This is true. So let's try to run this. Yes, once again, I'll explain again. Okay, so once again, let's run this. You can see here 1996 is a leap year. Let's try to understand again the 400 and 100 wala concept. See, every 4 years we are getting a leap year, right? So let's say for an example, I'm taking here 2000, right? So 2000 divided by 4 equal to 0. If it is true, it's gonna go inside. Again 2000 modulus 100, it has to become a 0. Again it's gonna go inside, and 2000 should be divisible by 400, it should become 0. Then only your leap will be true. If my year is passing all these criteria, all these conditions, then only your year will be considered as a leap year, correct? But suppose if your year is even, but it's a century, right? If it is a century, what's going to happen? This condition will get true. But if it is not a century, it's going to come here, and leap will be true. Because it can happen that century years are not a leap year. It also happens that century years are a leap year, right? That's what we are saying here. If your year is a century, that's what we are checking this. That's why we are checking this. If your year is not a century, then also it can happen that your leap year is a true year. Okay, that means your year is a leap year. That's why we are checking this. 400 wala concept, what it is saying, we have to check every 4 years. That means century hone ke baad bhi we need to check it, right? So every 400 years also we need to check. It's not only about 1 century, right? It's all about 100 centuries or 200 centuries. We are not only talking about one group of years. We are talking about bunch of all the years. So we need to take care of this also. Let's have a look what happens in 2000. So if I run this, you can see it says 2000 is a leap year. Let me just take one example. Always remember, a century is not a leap year, okay? So if you, let me just write 2001. If you look at, if I run this, you can see it will say it is not a leap year because here itself it is getting false. Right? Here itself this is getting false. So because it is not divisible by 4, let's try to add here 2010. Okay, this is also even number. Let's try to check this. So if you look here, this is also not a leap year. This is gonna pass this, but later on the other if statements is not gonna pass. So that's why it is not a leap year. I'm using IntelliJ IDEA. Okay, so nested if else is done. Now let's try to add some of the codes which are from for loop. We have seen a nested for loop, but let's try to see a normal for loop where we can try to see how the codes are running. With Vaibhav Khanna, we are not starting DSN algo right now. This is just core and advanced Java. So this is the first coding session. We are just trying some codings and we are just learning how these basic codings are done. Again reminding, pattern programs के लिए अलग से session बनाया जाएगा. We will create one session for you and in that only pattern programs will be taught. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one number, let's say 100. So I'm using here basically a for loop which I want to teach you guys. So here I'm using num equal to 100, sum equal to 0, and here I'm going to use a normal for loop. I'm just going to say I equal to 0 and I is less than equal to num, right? And plus I. So what I'm going to see, whether you use pre-increment or post-increment, it doesn't matter here because any which ways your output will be same. For loop doesn't matter if you give pre or post. There's nothing like that. The only thing is your condition and the starting number, the initialized number. That is what does matter here. So here what I'm doing here, I'm using some of the things which I've taught you yesterday. So remember I taught you about the assignment operator and remember I taught you about the for loops. That's what I'm using here. Now let me know what will be the output of this. So what I'm doing here, I have I equal to 0, I is less than equal to num. That means 0 is less than equal to 100. That's true, it's gonna come down. Some का वैल्यू पहले से ही 0 है, तो इसका मतलब क्या होता है, बेसिकली सम इज इक्वल टू sum plus I. That is what is the meaning of this, right? So what's gonna happen? Sum is 0, 0 plus I is what? Again 0. So sum का वैल्यू क्या हो जाएगा? Sum का वैल्यू हो जाएगा 0, right? Again I will get incremented, so I will become 1. 1 is less than 100. That is also true. So now with 0 I have to add 1, and now the sum value will become 1. So what is happening? From 0 till 100, it's gonna add all the numbers, right? One by one it's gonna add. So in the next loop, this is what's gonna happen. In the next loop, this is what is gonna happen, right? And it's gonna get continue till the time you get the output. So first let's take only till 10 and let's try to see what it is giving me. We have not printed anything, so let's print our output. Let's do println only because we don't want to, there's only one output, so let's print ln and let's try to see what is happening. So you can see here the output is 55. So what is happening, basically from 0 to 10 everything is getting added, and in the sum I am getting the output. So this is also one of the example where we can use for loop, how you can use for loop. Okay, so you can see if I change it to 100, you can see 5050. So this is one of the question where I'm showing you sum of natural numbers. Okay, this is how you can add sum of natural numbers. Fine. Now let's move to our one of the logic where it's called as factorial, right? Now let's understand what is that. If you guys do know what is factorial, factorial is basically, if I have written here something like this, right? Exclamation 5. So basically not exclamation 5 exclamation. So this is basically meaning, this means to say that I want the factorial of 5. Factorial of 5 does mean 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So if you multiply all these numbers, the output whatever will come, that is nothing but your factorial, right? So same thing we are going to do, we are going to write a program for that. So let's try to see how do we do that. Okay, now here let's first take the number. You can also ask the user these numbers. Right now I'm just taking that number and we'll take one particular variable which will say 1. So this is factorial, which is 1. Why? Because we know that all the numbers should be multiplied with 1, right? At the end it had to multiply with 1. So I'm just giving one particular variable named as 1. Now I'm going to use a for loop. I'm just going to say here, because obviously there are so many things, right? 10 into 9 into 8 into 7. There are so many things. So we need to have a loop. We need to run a loop here. So we are going to end, we are going to start from 1 and move till 10 because we want the 10 also in the multiplication, right? And then we will increment this value. Okay, I hope you remember how increment works. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to again use the same concepts, which is nothing but your assignment operators, but this time I'm going to use here in multiplication. So what is happening here, basically your factorial is equal to factorial multiplied with I, right? Now let's print this. So understand what is happening. Okay, basically our I value is 1. 1 is less than equal to 10. It's gonna come down, and factorial का हमारा value already 1 है, right? So what it will tell me? It will tell me 1 multiplied with 1. पहले तो यही होगा, right? And then I का value increase हो रहा है, तो multiply क्या हो जाएगा? 2. ये कब तक चलेगा? 10 तक, right? So it's gonna end till 10. That means from 1 till 10 everything is getting multiplied, and that is what we want. So we are getting our output, right? So logics are very simple. You just have to understand the code, how is it running. Okay, now once you understand this code, reverse it, try to write the code on your own, and you will be able to get the output. Okay, so I'm getting here this much. Okay, if I change this value, we will also get this much. Again, now understand, this can be written in many other ways, right? Abhi शाम को 3 बजे, like at 3 p.m. we are learning method, right? So once method we will learn, then same programs we will again see in a different way. So there is another different way to write this factorial program. You must be knowing about recursion and all other ways of writing a factorial program. This is one of the easiest one. We are also going to see some of the other ways how we can write a factorial program, but normally right now this is one particular way how we can do it. The other ways I'm going to again show you later on, not now, but yeah, so right now only this much. You can also use while loop to do the same thing, but for loop se ho ja raha hai, then why to show that, right? So factorial is done. Now let's move to our next one, which is Fibonacci series. These all programs will again come back, क्योंकि इन सारे प्रोग्राम्स को और भी डिफरेंट तरीके से लिखा जा सकता है, राइट? सो अगेन आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट दिस, डोंट वरी, दिस इज जस्ट अ बिगिनर लेवल कोडिंग टू जस्ट लेट यू नो दैट लॉजिक्स ऐसे लिखे जाते हैं. नाउ वी आर कमिंग बैक टू आवर फिबोनाची सीरीज. सो फिबोनाची सीरीज इज बेसिकली अ सीरीज ऑफ नंबर्स which comes in mathematics. So we have something like this. We have 0 and 1, which are two numbers which is predefined, and then we keep on adding the previous numbers. So 1 plus 0, 1. Then the two numbers, 1 plus 1, so it will become 2. 2 plus 1 will become 3. 3 plus 2 will become 5. 5 plus 3 will become 8. So it will go on. This is what we need to do now. This is what we need to print, right? So it depends how many numbers do you want to print, because it will go for infinity. So you need to mention how many numbers do you want, right? So first of all, that is what we'll take. We'll take int n equal to 10. We want only 10 numbers to be there. And then I'm going to take here first term, which is 0. The first term is 0, right? And then we have our second term. I told you that in Fibonacci series, two terms are known. 0 and 1. Then only you can start your program. So we have taken these two terms here. Okay? First term and second term. And now I'm just going to write the logic. What I'm going to do here, for loop int I equal to 1, because we want our numbers to be printed one by one. So what I'm going to do here is, we are going to write a logic I is less than equal to n plus I. How can you find factorial of big numbers? I try to find factorial 100, but it gives weird answer. Yes, it will give, because we need to use another function which is big integer. So that's why I told you, because right till now we have not understood about anything called as big integer. So again, factorial ka values or factorial ka program, different logics will be coming back. Don't worry. Right now I have not taught you guys big integer. That's why I did not show you that thing कि 100 के ऊपर का factorial कैसे निकाला जाए. This was just the basic program to show you that. Big integer जब पढ़ाऊंगा, then I'll show you how to use that to write a logic to get the bigger integer factorial values. Okay. Right now a normal basic coding session this is. So let's not make it complicated. Already एक pattern program हमने देखा है. Only single pattern program we have seen, which is a right triangular pattern. उसके बाद और भी बहुत सारे patterns है, but I decided not to take it because वो फिर complex हो जाता. This will not be basic enough. So let's keep it basic right now. Later on बहुत सारे coding sessions हैं, उस पर हम लोग उसको hard करेंगे, उसको थोड़ा tough करते रहेंगे, ठीक है? So right now let's make it very easy, very simple. Because if once you get confused, पूरा Java confusing हो जाएगा. So let's try to give up a system.out.println here. Okay, and let's write the first term with a comma. Fine. तो पहले हम लोग सबसे पहले first term लिख रहे हैं, and then second term will get printed, and then third term, and then we will write the logic. So let's write the अभी. हाय अभी, इंटेलिजेंस ज़्यादा अच्छा है, बिकॉज See, Eclipse is better when you are using servers, when you're working with enterprise applications like servers or JSP, Servlet, Hibernate. So Eclipse is better because there it gives you all the options. IntelliJ idea mein basically what happens when you start working with enterprise applications, it slows down your system. So that what I have faced. That's why Eclipse is better when it comes to enterprise applications. When it comes to standard applications, you can use IntelliJ idea. It will not give you any kind of problems. It's very easy to use. So that's why I'm using IntelliJ idea. If you want to use for enterprise applications, go ahead and use Eclipse because you have options there. Easily you can create some classes, create some servers, and you can start writing your code for get, post methods and all. So that is much better for your enterprise applications. Okay, so now here what I'm going to do is for the next term, how we can calculate the next term? We have to add first term with second term, right? Once it happens, then second term will become my first term and next term will become my second term. So what I'm doing here, see basically what I've done here is first term plus second term means अगर मैं इसको यहाँ पे वैल्यू दूँ तो 0 + 1 0 + 1 1 हो जाएगा. नेक्स्ट टर्म मतलब नेक्स्ट टर्म मेरा 1 हो गया तो मैं उसको प्रिंट कर दूंगा. करेक्ट. सिमिलरली इट गोज ऑन. राइट. सिमिलरली इट गोज ऑन. बट रिमेंबर कि हमने यहाँ सिर्फ फर्स्ट टर्म को ही प्रिंट किया है तो जो भी मेरा फर्स्ट टर्म आ रहा है वो प्रिंट होगा. तो यहाँ पे क्या क्या प्रिंट होगा, लेट्स सी. फर्स्ट टर्म हमारा पहले क्या है, 0 है तो 0 विल गेट प्रिंटेड, राइट. आफ्टर दैट यू कैन सी दैट दिस लूप इज गेटिंग एंडेड हियर, सो दैट मीन्स दीज 3 लाइन्स विल ऑल्सो गेट एग्जीक्यूटेड, राइट. तो यहाँ पे आते हैं. फर्स्ट टर्म प्लस सेकेंड टर्म मीन्स 0 + 1. नेक्स्ट टर्म का वैल्यू क्या हो गया, नेक्स्ट टर्म का वैल्यू हो गया 1, राइट. सो सेकेंड टर्म का जो वैल्यू है वो चला जाएगा फर्स्ट टर्म में. सेकेंड टर्म का क्या वैल्यू है, सेकेंड टर्म का वैल्यू है 1. तो नाउ द अपडेटेड वैल्यू ऑफ फर्स्ट टर्म इज 1, राइट. नेक्स्ट टर्म दैट मीन्स द वैल्यू ऑफ 1 इज नाउ गोइंग बैक टू सेकेंड टर्म, राइट. अभी फिर से लूप चलाते हैं. सो आई विल बिकम 2, 2 इज लेस देन इक्वल टू 10 एंड नाउ इट्स गोना प्रिंट द फर्स्ट टर्म विच इज 1. आई राइट द वैल्यूज हियर. इसका 1 था और अभी सेकेंड टर्म भी हमारा 1 ही हो गया है. अब यहाँ पे कुछ चेंजेस आएंगे बिकॉज फर्स्ट टर्म और सेकेंड टर्म 1 1 है तो ये भी 1 हो जाएगा और इसका वैल्यू 2 हो जाएगा. एंड इफ सेकेंड टर्म को हम वहाँ पे डाल रहे हैं तो ये 1 ही रहेगा, बट नेक्स्ट टर्म का जो वैल्यू है दैट मीन्स ये 2 हो जाएगा. तो अगेन वी आर गेटिंग हियर 1 बिकॉज फर्स्ट टर्म का अभी भी वैल्यू 1 ही है, राइट. ओके, नाउ अगेन विल कम बैक. सो यहाँ पे फर्स्ट टर्म का वैल्यू तो 1 था, नेक्स्ट टर्म इक्वल टू फर्स्ट टर्म प्लस सेकेंड टर्म. यस, सो सेकेंड टर्म का वैल्यू यहाँ पे 2 हो गया है तो इसको हम लोग 2 करेंगे और इसको हम लोग 3 करेंगे. एंड देन सेकेंड टर्म इज फर्स्ट टर्म, सो सेकेंड टर्म इज फर्स्ट टर्म, दैट मीन्स नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू गेट 2 हियर and next term is second term, so we are going to get 3 here. So here it will print 2 and this will go on, right. So if I just print this, you can see here 0 1 1 2 3 we have written here ln. इसको print करते हैं. You can see 0 1 1 2 3 5 8 13. So this is what is a Fibonacci series. Again a very simple program, right. Nothing much here, very simple program. This is what is a Fibonacci series. These are most important, most simple codings which we have seen. Now let's do one more. I think Fibonacci और Factorial के बाद एक और आता है. Yes, so let's try to do this. Okay, this is very very important guys, so please try to understand it. यह है reverse number, reversing a number. So that means if suppose I have a number which is 1 2 3 4, we can get the output 4 3 2 1. So try to understand the logic of this. इसका logic बहुत ज़्यादा important है because इसका logic जो है ये बहुत सारे different programs में भी use होता है. So we'll try to see how do we do that. So let's say we have one of this number 5647 and we have one variable which is 0. Okay, now I'm going to print the original number. So I'm just going to write here original number and here I'm just going to say num. Okay, so it's just num. I'm just printing the normal original number. Now let's try to see what we are going to do. So please understand, let's say I'm taking a digit, okay, and here what I'm going to do, I'm taking the number and I'm dividing it with 10. Please try to understand what is happening. See, if I have a number 5647 or let's say any two-digit number, let's say any two-digit number 78. 78 is when divided, that means modulus by 10. What will be the remainder? Because modulus will always give me the remainder, right? So if the modulus is giving me the remainder, what remainder I'll get here? What is the digit which I'll get here? So try to do that. If you do it, your remainder will be 8. So don't you think कि कोई भी number का last digit we are getting here, right? So if I have here 5647, if I divide this, right? So what you're getting here, you will be getting 7, right? This is what you will get. This is what we are doing right now in this particular part. The next part what we are going to do is we are going to use reverse equal to reversed into 10 plus digit. Now try to understand what we are doing. So reversed का value हमेशा 0 है, अभी वो 0 ही है. 0 into 10 plus digit. Digit कितना है? 7. So what are we getting here? We'll be getting here 7. So reversed में पहला digit क्या आ गया? 7 आ गया, right? So we got 7 here. And then the next part what we are going to do here is we are going to do num equal to num divided by 10. Now we are doing division, okay? So we are going only division. Num का value क्या है? 5647. If I divide that by 10, what are you going to get? If I divide means quotient. So quotient में क्या आएगा? Quotient में last का digit छोड़ के सारे आ जाएंगे, isn't it? क्योंकि हम किसी भी नंबर को अगर डिवाइड करें तो कैसे डिवाइड करेंगे? 10 5 500, देन 600, देन 40, 5640. सो बचा क्या? 7. वो रिमाइंडर है. हमें क्या चाहिए? क्वोशेंट. क्वोशेंट में क्या आएगा? 564. तो हमारा न्यू नंबर जो है वो 564 है, राइट? नाउ लेट्स ट्राई टू सी दिस लॉजिक अगेन. यहाँ पे बेसिकली हो क्या रहा है? सो सी, फर्स्ट राउंड ऑफ कोड में क्या हो रहा था? फर्स्ट राउंड ऑफ कोड में क्या हुआ? पहले हम लोग 7 पा गए. कहाँ पे? डिजिट में. सो डिजिट का वैल्यू क्या हो गया? 7. देन हम लोग रिवर्स्ड में पा गए 7. 0 इंटू 10 प्लस 7, 7. एंड देन हम लोग यहाँ पे नम का वैल्यू पा गए 564. वाई? बिकॉज 7 ऑलरेडी वी हैव गॉट इन द रिवर्स्ड. अब हमको 4 चाहिए, फिर 6 चाहिए, फिर 5 चाहिए. तो अब यहाँ पे क्या होगा? ये सेकेंड लेवल पे जाएगा. सेकेंड लेवल पे हम लोग यहाँ पे 564 के साथ काम कर रहे हैं. 564 के साथ अगर परसेंटेज लगाएंगे तो इसका वैल्यू यहाँ पे लास्ट डिजिट आने वाला है. वी नो दैट. सो यू डोंट हैव टू कैलकुलेट. डोंट गो देयर एंड कैलकुलेट 10 डिवाइड बाय 564. डोंट डू दैट. आपको पता है जब भी आप रिमाइंडर वाला या फिर मॉड्यूलस यूज कर रहे हो 10 के साथ, इट विल गिव यू द लास्ट नंबर. अगेन हियर इफ आई यूज इट, इसका जो नेक्स्ट है, राइट, वी आर रनिंग अ लूप हियर. आई हैव नॉट रिटन द लूप but we are trying to run a loop because if I have got 7 I should get 6 also, right? So that's what I'm doing. Reversed का वैल्यू कितना था? रिवर्स्ड का वैल्यू 7 था. 7 मल्टीप्लाइड विथ 10 प्लस डिजिट का वैल्यू कितना है? 4. तो कितना आ गया? 70 प्लस 4, 74. We got the 4 also, right? Now if I go here, what I'm going to get? अभी हमारा नंबर का वैल्यू कितना है? 564. सो 564 डिवाइड बाय 10. हमें क्या मिलने वाला है? आगे का 2 डिजिट, लास्ट का नहीं, आगे का 2 डिजिट, क्योंकि हम लोग डिवीजन यूज़ कर रहे हैं. तो 56 आ गया. अब इसको फिर से बढ़ाते हैं. तो आप देख सकते हो ये बार बार क्या चल रहा है? यहाँ पे लूप चल रहा है. तो इस लूप को हम लोग वाइल लूप, आप फॉर लूप भी यूज़ कर सकते हो, बट आई टेल यू द रीज़न वाई वी आर यूजिंग फॉर लूप, वाई वी आर यूजिंग while loop. ठीक है. So we are using while loop. Now see, num is not equal to 0. तब तक ये loop चलते रहेगा जब तक num का value not equal to 0 नहीं हो जाता. Now have a look what's gonna happen if I end this. So if I go beyond it, right? So 56 modulus 4, sorry 10. What is gonna give me? 56 modulus 10, what's gonna give me? It's gonna give me 6 now, right? Similarly, you can do again this same thing to the next part. What's gonna happen? Same thing. So what we have to do? We have to do 74 multiplied with 10 plus the digit 6. It's gonna give me what? 746. And here same thing will happen. 56 divided by 10 will give me how much? It will give me only 5, right? Abhi bhi this num value is 5 and 5 is not equal to 0. So this condition is not false. So we'll again repeat it. And now we have only 5 in our hand. So 5 modulus 10 will give you the digit how much? It will give you 5. राइट इसको थोड़ा सा और अगर बढ़ाएंगे देन 746 मल्टीप्लाइड विथ 10 प्लस 5 इट्स गोना गिव यू 7465 एंड अगर मैं यहाँ पे आऊँ 5 divided by 10, it's divided by 10, so it's gonna give me 0 point something, right? But because it's an integer, number is an integer, I've given int num, so it's gonna be 0 only. Now I have got num equal to 0, so now my number is equal to 0 and this condition is false, so it's gonna end this particular thing here, right? Once it will end, what I have to do, I have to print my reverse number. So I can just print here रिवर्स नंबर कहाँ पे जाके सेव हुआ है? रिवर्स्ड में, राइट? पहला नंबर हमारा नम में सेव था और रिवर्स्ड वाला नंबर हमारा रिवर्स में सेव्ड है. सी एट लास्ट व्हाट डू वी गॉट? वी गॉट 7465 जो कि टोटली रिवर्स है किसी नंबर का, राइट? सो ट्राई टू सी दिस पार्ट, दिस ये पूरा जो लूप यहाँ पे चला है, राइट? वॉट एवर लूप हैज बिन गोइंग हियर, यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस पार्ट. इफ यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड दिस, you have got the logic. So let's try to execute this. And you can see original number is 5647 and then we got here 7465. Right? So this is the logic of reverse number, reversing a number using a while loop. Again, there are some more ways how you can reverse a number, but this is one of the ways of reversing a number. Okay, any doubts? See, reversing a number, we have just reversed a number, right? There's also one more programming question, which is checking whether a number is palindrome or not, right? So whether checking a number is palindrome or not, palindrome means suppose if I have a number, let's say 1441. So this is a palindrome number. What is a palindrome? If you read it from left to right, it's the same. And if you read it from right to left, it's the same. So this is a palindrome number, right? So let's say if I'm writing here a number which is 5647. Now this is not a palindrome number because यहाँ से कुछ और है और यहाँ से कुछ और है, correct? So this is not a palindrome number. So we have to write a program to check whether a number is palindrome number or not. Okay? So what you have to do? You don't have to do anything. Same coding. Because palindrome number में हम लोग क्या करना है? हमको forward और reverse number को check करना है, correct? Same thing we have to do. So what we can do here is we can try to write a simple logic here. अगर हमें original number और reverse number मिल गया है, so if the number is equal to reversed वाला number, then what we can do, we can print the output, right? So ये थोड़ा बाहर हो गया है, that's why it is giving error. If number is equal to reversed, if the original number is equal to the reversed one, then the number is a palindrome number, right? So original number 564, 1 second, this will not run obviously because loop वहाँ पे खत्म हो रहा है. So let's try to write it somewhere else. इसको प्रिंट नहीं करते हैं. ब्रैकेट का मिस्टेक है. नंबर इक्वल टू, अच्छा नंबर तो चेंज हो गया ना. वी हैव चेंज द नंबर, कैन यू सी द नंबर हैज बीन चेंज. नंबर इज नाउ व्हाट, नंबर इज योर 0. सो वी कैन नॉट यूज नंबर. सो व्हाट यू डू, एक और वेरिएबल लेते हैं, लेट्स गिव दैट दी, सो यहाँ पे लिख देते हैं ओरिजिनल नंबर. तो सबसे पहले हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, एक टेम्पररी वेरिएबल में नंबर को ऐड कर दे रहे हैं. एंड नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू कंपेयर दिस. सो ओरिजिनल नम इज इक्वल टू रिवर्स्ड. ओके, ओरिजिनल नंबर इज इक्वल टू रिवर्स. नाउ लेट्स चेक दी curly brackets. So we have got these all things, this is fine. If original number is equal to reversed, system.println, else, yes, we can reverse a string, but for that we need to first understand what is a string, because till now we have not understood what is a string. I think today at night we have an array concept and then tomorrow we have a string. So tomorrow हम लोग, मतलब जो कल का जो सेशन होगा जिसमें कोडिंग सेशन 2 है, उसमें हम लोग स्ट्रिंग के रिवर्स का पढ़ेंगे. सो राइट नाउ नंबर इज अ पैलिंड्रोम नंबर, अदरवाइज नंबर इज नॉट अ पैलिंड्रोम नंबर. स्टिल आई थिंक देयर इज समथिंग रॉन्ग बिकॉज हमने 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. 3 p.m. again one session will come just after 3 hours. We'll have one more session which is on methods. So we'll try to understand what is method, how to write it, definition uska kaise hai, all of those things. And then at night also 7 p.m. we are going to come back with our next session which is on array. So we're going to understand array as well. So you can see number is not a palindrome. Can you see? You are getting number is not a palindrome. So original number is is not equal to reverse. That is why we are going to get that. Let's say that I am going to write here a number which is a palindrome, which is 1441. Let's try to reverse this and you are getting number is a palindrome number. So this is what is the program for whether a number is a palindrome or not, right? So from one particular program itself, we got 2 programs done. That is your we'll see one more program and then we'll end this session. Last program, because we have seen a lot of simple programs. Fibonacci, Factorial हो गया, palindrome हो गया, reversing number हो गया. Most of these are very basic programs जो beginners को पूछा जाता है. We have covered that. We'll again cover it with different logics, but right now we have already covered these all things. So right now we are going to write a program which is nothing but Armstrong number. So try to understand first what is an Armstrong number. So Armstrong number is basically if I'm taking a number 153, right? So 1 ka cube, right? How do I do a cube? Let's say 1 ka cube, okay? 1 cube plus 5 cube plus 3 cube. This output what it will give me? What will give me? 1 plus, देखिए 1 का cube 1 हो गया, 5 का cube it will be something like 125, right? And then we are getting 3 का power cube. So 27. So remember that this is also giving you 153, right? This is what is called as Armstrong number. अगर आपका per digit का cube, see there are 3 digits here, that's why we are taking cube here, okay? If अगर हमारे पास 4 digit होता, let's say if I have this much, then we would have taken 1 to the power 4 and then again plus 5 to the power 4. This is what we could have done here. Right? So अगर इसका भी solution 1524 आता है, then only this is an Armstrong number, otherwise it is not an Armstrong number, right? So this is what we need to do, okay? This is the main logic of your Armstrong number. So how we can do this, okay? Understand that हमेशा क्यूब नहीं रहेगा, जितना भी नंबर का आपका डिजिट है उतना का क्यूब रहेगा, ओके? Vandana Pranavi, you can get all the source code anywhere in Google. It's not that I'm writing a very unique kind of code. No, you can get it anywhere in Google. It's just that you need to understand the logic. I am there to make you understand the logic, because tutorials will not make you understand that, right? So I am here to make you understand the logic. So try to focus on the logics. Codes you will get anywhere in Google. You can get it anywhere. But the logic explanation you will not get. So that's why you are watching this session. Now you can see here that we have got this, right? We have understood what is an Armstrong number. If we have 4 digits, power change hoga. It will become 4. If you have 2 digits, power will be only 2. But after this calculation, if you are getting the same number again, that is what is called as Armstrong number, right? So here, what we'll do is, same code we will use. Why same code we will use? Because we know that हम लोग यहाँ भी क्या कर रहे हैं? We are dividing these numbers. Can you see? See, when I was teaching you reverse number, let's say when I was taking 5647 wala number, right? What have we done? We have segregated these all numbers, right? 5, 6, 4, 7. We have segregated all these numbers, yes or no? And then what we did? We calculated it in such a manner that all the last numbers we can collect. So we collected 7 and then we collected 4 and then we collected 6 and then we collected 5, and thus we got this particular output. We are separating the numbers. Yes, correct. We are separating the numbers and then we are reversing and then we are again putting it in the output, right? Same thing we are doing here. We're separating the numbers. So don't you think the same logic will be used here? Same logic will be used here. But I'll just comment it for now, this one, so that you can see later on कि ये क्या था. Okay. And here I will write the logic for my लॉजिक सेम है, जस्ट सम थिंग्स विल चेंज, बिकॉज सी यहाँ पे हम लोग कुछ पावर 3 जैसा नहीं कर रहे, बट यहाँ पावर 3 जैसा कर रहे हैं, यहाँ एडिशन कर रहे हैं, तो उसका लॉजिक थोड़ा सा चेंज होगा, बट इट इज़ नॉट दैट मच. सो लेट्स ट्राई टू सी व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू हियर. ठीक है, सो सबसे पहले एक नंबर ले लेते हैं. लेट्स ट्राई टू से दैट वी आर टेकिंग अ नंबर 153. ओके, एंड वी हैव हियर ओरिजिनल नंबर. ये reversed we will not use because we are not using any kind of reversed things here. We'll take reminder here. Okay, and we'll also take result जिसका value 0 होगा. Okay, so we are taking these two variables, reminder and result, and let's try now to write the code. So first of all, reminder निकालना है हमें. क्यों निकालना है reminder हमें? Because we want to separate the last numbers from the number 153. So कैसे करेंगे? You know this very well. What we need to do? We need to number से divide कर देंगे 10 को. So what we'll get here? Obviously we'll get here same thing होगा जैसे यहाँ पे 153 के लिए हो रहा था. So I'll directly write the number. We'll write 3. We'll get 3 here, right? Next what we are going to do is we'll write a logic. Result equal to result plus math dot or let's not use math. what are we doing? Result plus power 3, right? So we need to add reminder pe power, correct? Because whatever reminders we have got, we need to add that. So reminder multiplied by a reminder into reminder. Same thing we have done, right? So you can see 1 to the power 3, right? यहाँ पे result क्या है अभी? Result का value 0 है. So 0 plus reminder into reminder into reminder. Reminder into reminder into reminder means what? What is the result? 3. So 3 into 3 into 3. That's what I've written here. But again ये बहुत complex हो जा रहा ना. ये लिखना बहुत complex हो जा रहा because अगर 4 डिजिट रहा या 5 डिजिट रहा तो आपको ये बार बार लिखना पड़ेगा. Reminder into reminder into reminder into reminder. So that is why we use here math. math.pow. और इस पाव का मीन्स है पावर. तो किस चीज का पावर चाहिए? रिमाइंडर का पावर चाहिए. रिमाइंडर का पावर चाहिए कितनी बार? 3 बार. दैट्स व्हाट वी हैव यूज्ड हियर. बट ये जो मैथ है ये एक क्लास है. कैन यू सी दैट? एम इज कैपिटल. सो वी नीड टू यूज इट, राइट? सो व्हाट वी नीड टू डू? वी नीड टू okay, let's not do this. Integer नहीं था ये result. Result is integer only, right? Fine. So we have changed this. Okay. Power में change हो गया. Now result के अंदर क्या आ जाएगा? Result के अंदर उस reminder का power आ जाएगा. So reminder 3 to the power 3. 3 to the power 3 is what? 3 to the power 3 is what? 27. So we are getting result में 27. Now what you have to do? We have to get to the number and we have to separate the first part. So number is equal to number by 10. So number क्या है? Number is 153. 153 का divide करेंगे 10 से तो what I will get? 15. So we got 15. Why? Because 3 का काम हो चुका है. We have already done with the 3 power 3. That is already done. And we have put down here 27. So I'm just going to write here 27. So result में मेरे पास 27 आ गया. Correct? And we have got 15. Again ये loop चलेगा because number is not equal to 0. Number is 15. So loop चलेगा. Now num will be 15. 15 modulus 10. So what I'm going to get here? I'm going to get here this time 5. Now यहाँ पे क्या आ जाएगा? Reminder का जगह पे 5. So 27 is the result. Result plus 5 का cube. 5 का cube will be 125. Then again let's come here. So यहाँ पे क्या change हो जाएगा? Again इसको divide करेंगे 15 को तो ये 1 हो जाएगा. फिर आते हैं यहाँ पे तो ये 1 रह जाएगा. And then 27 plus 25, 125 is the result. Plus 1 का cube will be 1 itself. And then here I will get 0.0 something because it's already num, so it will be 0 only. Now once it becomes 0, so ये while loop is wrong, the condition will become wrong and we are going to print our number. So original number is equal to which one? The result. If these two things are matching, if the original number is matching with my result, then it's an Armstrong number. So number is a Armstrong number or number is not Armstrong number. तो अगर मैच होगा तो Armstrong होगा, अगर मैच नहीं होगा तो नहीं होगा. Let's try to run this. I think ये int वाला एक problem है, but that's fine. It's not needed here. उसने suggest किया, so I just clicked it, but it's not needed here because math will already give me the solution in integer. So you can see a number is an Armstrong number. Let's say if I'm writing any other number, let's say I'm writing here 1446. Okay, तो यहाँ पे आपको बस एक चेंज करना है, इसको आपको 4 करना है because now the digits are 4. So if I run this, number is not an Armstrong number. Okay, because it is not matching. So this is what is your Armstrong number code, and I hope जितने भी हमने कोड्स यहाँ पे सीखे हैं, whatever codes, these are all basic codes, बहुत basic है. इसको करने के बाद ही कोडिंग सेशन 2 में जाएंगे because in कोडिंग सेशन 2 we are going to understand a lot more medium type of questions. लाइक बिग इंटीजर कैसे यूज़ करना है, फंक्शंस कैसे यूज़ करना है, एरेज के साथ कोडिंग कैसे करना है, स्ट्रिंग के साथ कोडिंग कैसे करना है. Those all things we are going to see there in that session, right? So do join today at 3 p.m. for methods, because methods declaration आना चाहिए, how to call a method, कैसे overriding overloading होता है, all those things we will talk about that at 3 p.m. and then at night 7 p.m. we are going to talk about arrays, so that कल जो कोडिंग सेशन होने वाला है वो आप अच्छे से समझ पाओ. फाइन. सो that's all for this session. I hope you got all these concepts. If not, don't worry, because again coding session 2 में same codings होंगी but different logic होगा. ठीक है. So please do watch this session if you have not seen it. This is it. This is what is your coding session 1. Do tell me in the live chat if you have really liked this session. If not, then also please do tell me in the live chat if you haven't. So please do join the Telegram channel. The link is in the given description. You can click on it and you can join Telegram channel. Telegram channel पे हमेशा updates and notifications will be coming on for all the educators who are coming live and at what topic they are teaching and at what time. So please do join Telegram channel. Also, please do subscribe the CodeBeyond channel. Hit the notification bell so that you get an update always in your YouTube app. Also, please do like and share. सर वाइल एंड फॉर लूप यूज कर सकते हैं थे इन प्लेस ऑफ वाइल. रोहित, यस वी कैन यूज फॉर, बट अगेन वो बहुत ज़्यादा लेंदी कोड हो जाता है. यू हैव टू इनिशियलाइज, यू हैव टू पुट कंडीशन, सेम ही चीज़ है बट यू नो उसमें फॉर लूप का नीड नहीं है, राइट? बिकॉज वाइल लूप से ही जब हो जा रहा है देन वाई यू हैव टू गो एंड गिव अ फॉर लूप, बिकॉज फॉर लूप विल टेक लॉट ऑफ टाइम. तो हम लोग को यहाँ पे टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी भी देखना है. So that's what I've said. When you move into DSA, right, it talks about time complexity. Your code should be a quality code. So that's why while loop mein jab everything is working fine, then why do you have to include for loop? There should be a reason to do that, right? So that's the thing. So I hope you have understood all of these things. I hope this was a great session. I'll try to make coding session 2 also very good, much better than this one, because codings are really important, practical things are very important. So thank you so much. I'll meet you really soon. That is at 3 p.m. Do remember to join that because we are understanding methods in that class. Bye bye.